Here's just some story writing tips. So at the start, I always say keep it short. You want to get to the hook as soon as possible. This is for what we talk about in Mau Mau, trying to go through a beat outline. The middle is try and keep it gags, keep it physical, visual. It's kind of the fun. At the end, we always try and do a cool set piece or some kind of interesting visual gimmick. It's building up to the confrontation, the big resolution. So make it kind of the biggest moment visually. Yeah, the 3 H's: humor, heart, spectacle, Hspectical. Yeah, this is story stuff. You want people to care about the characters. Like, how do you do that? Here's one thing, shot count on Mau Mau, and I think most 11 minutes, you want to keep it pretty low. 160 scenes per 11-minute episode. Because every time you do a new shot, that's a new layout. So you want to try and combine shots into group shots, things like that, where characters can deliver dialogue quickly. We'll get episodes in and they'll be 200 plus. And if you get that high, then we're going to have to cut a lot of your art in the animatic phase. So I think 160 is good. And how that translates into you all making board portfolios is, less is more sometimes. Like 100 scenes, like that's a lot of, think of it this way, 160 scenes can fill in an 11-minute episode. I just need to go through your portfolio for maybe, 3 to 4 minutes. So you don't need a huge amount of scenes to get your story across. Again, this is like how we think of economics in TV. Try and reuse the same background. Here's the establishing shot. Why do we need that or that or that or that? That's someone on the back end in BG world working late because you didn't want to reuse this background, which is already done. You're thinking about the pipeline. Again, reusing. So I'll get scripts or something that will call for a lab and a test ground. They bring the rocket car out to test it. And that's 2 separate backgrounds. So a lot of times as a director, you'll go through and you'll combine it. The lab is the test ground. Like all this machinery could be right here. And then we widen to the right. And so you want to combine locations when you're reading the script. Tone, again, something to think about for your own boards. Like, do you want to add tension to it, soft focus, go off style? Maybe they're in a crayon drawing. Do you want to use we'll use big anime graphics because it can be a helpful device in boarding and it's fun. You can make it really flat. Like, that's great for comedy. Dynamic, here's something with those 2 vanishing points. So we have that kind of crazy converging perspective. This thing's all about the sword, so the sword's coming right at us. Painted flashbacks, depending on who you have as a BG team. But that can do a lot of work, storytelling-wise. Transitions, Steven Universe always ends with that little star. X-ray, can we see through it? Like, is it like Looney Tunes? Are we... you can do anything you want. Like, you can really have some fun with animation. So if I'm stuck on a gag, I'll usually think of the 5 senses. Here's SpongeBob. It's a funny show. I'll think of, smell, sight, hearing, touch, well, all of that stuff, because they're all very physical. Except for maybe hearing, but even then, you can have a funny face or your character reacts in a funny way. Because they're all physical, it'll make your drawing visual. So that's kind of where I'll go if I'm really stuck.